Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to present a case for a statement saying that the DOCU stock is overvalued as of 8/15/2020 when it closed in the market at 199.71. Uh, let's go with the quick raw figures without going too much into details. So at this price, this docu, if you know about it, it's a document signing online uh, platform which provides an e-signature for the person exchanging the documents. It's a cloud-based service. It's automatically detects something and just started something really cool AI-based features where it could detect what's written where and it could point you to the right direction. So going back to this stock docu, uh, at the valuation of $36.64 billion, what it means that is it an attractive valuation if someone wants to acquire it? That's the question we are trying to seek here. And in the most recent quarter, which I could see was ending in April 30th, 2020, it had a sale of $297 million and had a loss of $47.5 million. I will not go into the loss figure for now. It's not very old, but like it's a 5-year-old company after the listing, of course. So for me, this figure I won't even discount this figure into my overvaluation thesis. What I do see is that it has a consistent increasing revenue over the last many quarters. 297 preceded by 274, 249, 235. So the increase is consistent, and this one at least partially positively captures the effect of COVID-19. So this one is the one of those few companies, or actually one of the many companies that were positively affected by coronavirus. So you can no more you will want to meet people in person and sign the document. So you send the documents over on an internet or an email and then get the sign and store the documents in a cloud. So that is the one figure. Now the key thing is when it's about to declare its third quarter results on September 3rd, and that will capture the data until July 31st, 2020, and that will be the peak of the coronavirus period. So obviously, and going by this historical record, we could expect this number to rise as high as to $350 million. And the way it's increasing, it's easy to see that it should be easy for it to cross $500 million revenue. And more recently, it has acquired something called a company called Live Oak Online Notary, which basically provides an online notary services. And then we expect that its revenue could be rising because of that. So with all those figures and everything, I will count on the fact that its revenue is close to $300 million as of now, $500 million as of now, or a half billion, or an annual revenue of close to $2 billion. And with $2 billion, it's easy to see that it's at least $6 billion, multiplying it by a factor of 3, and of course could be more because it has a rising tendency. And let's say at some point of time its revenue goes to $1 billion. That's what I think I would be heading. Of course, it may take many more quarters to do that, and that's with $1 billion. I would say of a quarterly revenue, that's $4 to $5 billion of an annual revenue. I would say its price is even with that its price is still overvalued by that future value. So that's where my thesis of this thing overvaluation comes from. The couple of things that we need to keep in mind, that this quarter, this the result they are declaring on September 3rd, that potentially will be the last quarter where it will capture the growth due to coronavirus, and a little bit of it beyond that after 30th July. The incremental effect of the coronavirus from positive results will slowly reduce, and it will gradually taper off as it declares its results, and and at the most we will have one more quarter to capture that growth, and thereafter we could see that potentially flat growth or no growth or maybe a little growth back to the previous rising tendency. So because of that, we could see that once it reaches its peak to somewhere around 200 to $220, maybe a little more than that, the stock may actually start going down. So this is my whole thesis. One thing I would like to avoid at this point is, except for the speculative purpose, I will not buy this stock. And before September 3, you could actually try, or that's my thesis, if I would actually in some way or the other will short this share to try to and see if we could, but around September 3 we could see some huge volatility and we could actually lose some money trying to short. The result could be much better than expected and could actually shoot up. So that's the second thing we have to be careful about around this date. And the last thing that I would say, that if you plan to, or if you plan to do, if you to short it or something like at some much higher price, maybe $225, when it reaches its peak value, and then you should be prepared to short it at a later time at an even higher price, and keep doing that till the stock reaches its even more peak value. So this is how I usually do not recommend the shorting of this stock. I usually, in 99% cases, I do not recommend this thing. There are a couple of things because of which I'm just expressing my thought, not necessarily that I would be right into it. I mean, I could just I'm presenting a case for it. I may or may not be right about it, but I thought it would be good if I express my thought. If I have to choose between buying and not buying, I will choose not buying. If not, between not buying and shorting, if I have to choose, I probably will go with the shorting. And one more reason for this is the stock market has become close to its peak at 3,300, more than 3,300 S&P 500 index right now, which I believe is close to its full valuation or slightly overvaluation. So the whole stock market being overvalued, and that combined with this particular stock a little overvalued, I think this makes for me to feel that it's a candidate for shorting. The one last thing that comes to my mind is that this share has nothing that you can say is cannot be done by any other company. It's something that any other competitor can come up with their own product and they can outsmart them in marketing or something. Maybe Google itself can come up with their own tool, or maybe Microsoft or many other companies that could do the same thing. They have not something very specific or something that cannot be replicated or done by any other company, and I don't know if they have any kind of proprietary patent kind of thing for this. So that's another of my concern about them being overvalued. I hope some of this information you will find it hopeful. If you want to see my trading with this stock, you can subscribe to my channel, and at some point of time I will open up my portfolio. Thanks for taking a look.